Good morning, everybody. It's that time of the week again for me. It's answering questions that were sent my way. Thank you, first off, for those that sent them in. I'll crack straight on. So, first question, what's the weight of my ruck? So, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but on my stories, I've been talking a lot about rucking, and I started off what I would say is light. So I've got a weighted vest and it looks a bit like an explosive vest, so I'm hesitant to wear it out in the public in case it scares people. So I put it in my backpack, but there's 18 blocks, okay, in this weighted vest, and each block represents around, I think it's just under 1.2 kilograms. And I started off with 5 blocks and I've worked my way up, okay, to I think it's at 15 now, maybe 14, but I've been up in it every single time I've gone out, and I pretty much do the same distance. When it's really nice, I do drive over to the woods on a Sunday, which a little bit more open, get a little bit of scenery and take a slightly different avenue. And I pretty much go for time. So I do either a 75-minute walk, 45-minute walk, and sometimes a 2-hour walk. But yeah, so the weight of my ruck right now, it's around about 15 and a half kilograms. Okay. So, other question, who should we vote for in the general election? Okay, oh hell. So I'm not going to obviously give out a particular party, but essentially I think this was a bit of a joke sent in, but it's a serious question, and the honest answer is obviously have a look at each party's manifesto and see if it fits in with favourable conditions in what you are, I suppose, focusing on. So, for example, from an investment standpoint, obviously every single party is proposing something, okay, to the table. Not obviously Rob's Roundtable, but they're bringing something to the table that is going to change the economy in some way, okay, and is that change, okay, going to affect your investments? Okay, because obviously every company thrives in different atmospheres, so and different economic climates. So if the party is going to install a set of rules, standards, regulations, or any proposals in changing something, is it going to affect your investments? And that could lead you to go out and support a political party for that very reason. Other than that, yeah, that's the only thing I really got to answer to that question. That's certainly what I'm doing, and that's what I would recommend everyone else to do. So another question, did I see Nvidia is the most valuable company in the world now? Yeah, they passed Microsoft a couple of days ago. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday they passed, and I think it's the third company to pass a $3 trillion mark. I think it's, I mean, companies obviously go up in value and they go down in value, and they are obviously a chip maker, and their products massively in demand right now. I would err on caution for those that would like to invest in them, partly because obviously they've gone up so much so quickly. There's questions around whether this is a bubble or they're in a bubble or not. Now, there's no strict definition of what is a bubble, and that's what makes a bubble so dangerous. But obviously when a particular area of the market rises so rapidly, so quickly, it tends to point towards a bubble. Now, I'm not saying their products shouldn't be in demand so much. It's revolutionary, but for me, I would just aid in a bit of caution if you are looking to invest into the company. But yeah, it's as I say, one day it's Apple, one day it's Microsoft, the next day it's Nvidia. I think it was Google at one point. Okay, Amazon. Okay, companies go up in value, they go down. So it doesn't surprise me that another company's just moved above Microsoft. No doubt next week it would be back to Microsoft being the biggest. So that's just the way the stock markets work. So another question, would I recommend high carb, low fat or low carb, high fat for weight gain? So great question. So many questions have been around weight loss for me. Weight gain is new territory. So so the way I construct all my diets, it does make a difference, obviously, of how I want to, I suppose, get my calories in, because I eat the same way, I just eat more or less of it. But the way I always construct my diet is I start with the protein. Okay, obviously you've got the three macronutrients: protein, carbs and fats, and protein I always put in first. Okay, and once that's done, you've got to be a bit cautious around carbs and fats, because even if you are going high carb, low fat, you need to be careful, because fats are so important for health reasons, okay, other than just potential energy usage for your body, especially essential fats, because being essential, we can only get them from our foods, because our body can't synthesize them. So we're very reliant on getting them with our diet, and they're very important for multiple reasons. As I've mentioned, used for fuel, they're very important to optimize hormone levels, metabolize vitamins that are important for brain and the body. They help protect your organs, and so much more, that even when you're going low, you need to have a certain amount. And there is arguments around, okay, how much you should take. I've seen variations of 0.4 to 0.6 grams of fat per, I think it's pound of body weight, if memory serves me correct. Yeah, that sounds about right. As I say, these are arguments. With carbs, our body relies on them less, okay, for health reasons. But I'm not saying they're not healthy, they are. But it's not essential that we get carbs from carb sources. Okay, the vitamins and minerals some of these carbohydrates offer, we can generally get them from protein and fats. It's not to say that we can't get them from carbs, or it's the most optimal method to get them. It may be more optimal to get them from carbohydrates, but in theory we can get them. Okay, where it's harder to get the benefits of what fats and protein offer from other sources. So the way I always construct my diet is to start with protein, then move on to fats to make sure I've got my minimum amounts. And generally I get most of my fat intake from my protein sources. Okay, but then I stick in carbohydrates, okay, last out of the three macronutrients. Okay, also as well, I would ask the question, okay, now I don't know obviously your personal situation, but with this type of question, I'd also ask is, why are you asking this question? Okay, what's the objective of why you want to eat in a particular way? Because if you're just an average person that isn't necessarily worried about optimizing their performance in a sporting capacity, then I would say that you don't really need high carb or high fats. All you need to do is eat a good nutritious diet, and you don't really need specific amounts, okay, in terms of high, low or moderate. Okay, so that's what I would say. Now, everyone does kind of find a more, I suppose, an optimal way for themselves, okay, in eating. For me personally, when I'm eating for performance, I prefer carbohydrates. If I'm not eating for performance, if I am actually trying to manage my weight for a particular reason, in terms of do I want to go in a deficit, a surplus, or just stay at a moderate amount for maintenance purposes, I prefer low carb and go higher fats. There's no benefit in terms of health, okay, to eat that specific way. it's just my preference. So you may, try to eat high carb, low fat for performance, but you may not be eating your preferred way. So you do have to be a bit careful, how to construct your diet, because the most important thing from your diet is getting in your, obviously, health markers, getting in the nutrients that your body needs, but also as well, you need to be following it for a period of time. So you want to be enjoying it. So those are the type of things that I would recommend in constructing your diet, but I can't recommend either or to your question because I don't know your situation and why you're asking it. So guys, it just reminds me, if you do have these type of questions, try to be specific so I can try to help you as much as possible. But this is a very generalized question, so I can't really answer anymore. If you want to follow up with another question, you're more than welcome to, or send me a message. I will answer it in a slightly more in-depth way. All right. Excuse me. Another question, do I still do home workouts? Not very often. Obviously, gyms are open. They've been open for a long time now. So I still do them, but a lot less than I used to. I do still have my dumbbells at home. I do still have certain equipment. So I've got my bike. See there, it's sitting next to me. I do still do certain things at home, but my preferred method is to go to the gym and do it, or go for a walk outside, especially in the summer. Yeah, I mean, when I think of those home workouts, I had some fantastic workouts, if I was to be honest. I am in the process of putting some HIIT programs for people that don't have time to go to the gym. They can do it at home. There's only one piece of equipment you need, and that's a mat. You don't even need a mat, but my suggestion would be to get one, just to ease the tension off the spine when you're doing stuff on the floor, especially if you have a hard floor rather than a carpeted floor. But I am going to be putting some programs, and they're literally the programs I did during COVID. I have a beginner HIIT program, intermediate program, and an advanced program. I did all three, literally every single exercise, in the way I did them. I'm going to put those on my website. It's just getting around to writing them up and explaining each movement. So last question, would I ever do Hyrox? It's a good question, actually. For those that don't know what Hyrox is, it's fairly new, but it's very similar to CrossFit. It's not something that I've got on the agenda. I'd never say never, but I did train kind of similar to how CrossFitters trained. I think it was last year, may even be the year before, and I still do put in Metcons sometimes to my program, but it really, I train for obviously a particular purpose, and unless the training benefits that purpose, I don't really do it. And at the moment, things like Hyrox, it just doesn't serve me a purpose for my goal. So therefore, right now, would I do it? No. Would I add in some elements to my training from Hyrox? Yes, I would. Not a big runner. I know Hyrox, most of the events, there is a running element to the event. It's not something I particularly care for, and I struggle to run anyway because of my knees. They swell up when I do run, so I don't run at all. But I have to say, at the moment, I can't envision me training any other way than how I'm training now. I've absolutely loved this program. So this is the everyday functional strength athlete program I put onto my website. I'm now into the second version of that program, and I am loving it. I am very excited on the way to the gym. Okay, I get to the gym and I just want to train. There are some sessions that I find harder than others, obviously, so it's a bit of a drag, but I still do get lots from it. And not only am I getting benefits inside the gym, but I'm getting a lot of benefits outside of the gym, and that was the whole point of the program in the first place. Okay, I love doing the odd lifts, I love doing kind of the strongman events, and I love doing body weight exercises, and there is some fitness stuff in there as well, so it's kind of ticking the box. In a way, in a roundabout way, it is similar to Hyrox, but it's more strength focused rather than functional fitness that Hyrox concentrates on. So, answer to your question, would I ever do it? I'd never say never, but it's not on the radar, not even close to being on the radar right now. Okay, so guys, that's all the questions. I hope I've answered them to your satisfaction. As I say, if there are any follow-up questions or you want me to answer it in a slightly more in-depth way, more than welcome to. And guys, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, subscribe to the channel if you want more upcoming content. I've got some really good and interesting things coming your way. Follow the website, okay, go on there. I'm trying to upload things as fast as possible, but it is taking slightly more time than first anticipated. So guys, yeah, I'm hoping you're enjoying it. Okay, it's a great journey for me so far. Really appreciate anyone that is following, and if there is anything you want to ask me or you would like content on, please feel free to get to send your suggestions my way. And yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, I want to make videos that you guys want to watch. So if I'm not doing that, please suggest other things and I will make the videos for you. Guys, listen, have a fantastic rest of your day and have a great weekend. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Hi guys, so I had a question posted over to me on Insta after I recorded the rest of the questions I received previous to this one, but I thought it was a worthy add-on to the series of questions already answered, because I'd imagine there's quite a few people in the same situation, and I thought it was a good question, to be fair. So the question was, they own one share in a company and not sure what to do with it. And it pretty much boils down to the same options you have with any investment. You can either sell it, hold it, or buy more of it. And I don't know your objectives around owning this particular share, or how you come about owning a single share. Okay, I'd imagine it's through share options if you've worked for the company, but obviously that's a stab in the dark. Okay, me guessing it. So let's go through each option. You can sell it. Now, a single share, okay, unless it is absolutely blown through the roof and gone astronomically higher than you purchased it or were given it, then you're going to be at a loss, because the broker's fee is going to be a lot higher. Okay, you're talking probably around maybe £8 to £12 on average for a broker's fee for any type of transaction. Okay, so obviously you need to make more money than that from a single share before you are in profit. Okay, you can hold it. Now, obviously one share won't accumulate very much whatsoever, but if it is paying a dividend, then you could receive a dividend for the entirety of ownership of that particular share. If it doesn't pay a dividend, then you're left holding a share with no real benefit. Okay, hopefully it will go up higher and potentially make you a profit later on down the road. Okay, but like I say, a single share, it has to go up very, very high in order for you to get a profit just from owning one share. The other option is buy more of it. And I suppose the question I have, if you were thinking about doing this, is where do you feel that company, okay, is going to go in the future? If it's going to make more profit, if you think it will, then I would suggest owning more of them. Okay, obviously I'm only speaking from my own perspective, the way I would think about it, but that's generally what I would do. Okay, if I'm confident in the company, if I feel it's going to be more profitable in the future, then I would buy more of it. Okay, so hope that helps. You're more than welcome to follow up with another question if you want to know more. But otherwise, hope the answer is to your satisfaction. Take care. All the best.